What is up, Packers fans? Welcome back to another edition of the tiered positional podcast. Still working on a name for this, but this is from the Packer Report Draft Guide, Packer People Top 300 checklist, where we look at different historical data at every single positional group and try to narrow the scope of who Green Bay typically will like at these positions. Something we've had a lot of success with in the past. Over 80% of the Packers picks in the last several drafts have been high fits directly from the Packer Report Draft Guide. Let's start with that. If you have not gotten your hands on one of these yet, make sure you are doing that today. Do it right now. Click the link. Go spend $10 and get yourself one. Okay. I promise it'll be worth it. A lot of great feedback so far from this. Really appreciate the people that have already purchased and have already said nice things. We love you guys. Make sure you are getting yourself one. Andy puts it in the link in the comments. Go to my Twitter page, our X page at Jacob Morley, at Ross Uglum, Jacob Westendorf. Like we are all pumping this thing. So if you're looking for the link, it should not be that difficult to find. At least I hope not. So today we're talking about the linebacker position, and full transparency. There are two positions that when you look at historical data for these positions, two that I am least confident in: tight end and linebacker. One, they haven't taken a lot of linebackers early, so it's hard to gauge like what they really like in specific guys. Like you look at Quay and you look at Edgerrin Cooper, you go, okay, freak athletes, cool, but what else? What else stands out about them? And that's one. You better be a really plus athlete. That's what they really like. Isaiah McDuffie was a big time athlete too. Nick Barnett was not a Thompson Ron Wolf pick. I think that was a Mike Sherman pick, but same thing, big time athlete. So they have a type that they like to get on the field and such. But you look at it, the big thing with these guys is obviously their athletic score, their RAS score needs to be pretty high. And then broad jump, big time broad jumps. That's the one thing that stands out with all of these guys. Like most of the guys they take have like 90th percentile broad jumps. The guy, maybe the best one they've taken is Edgerrin Cooper, and he didn't have a great broad jump. I think he was like at 68%, 69%, something like that. So not terrible, but not something they would typically look at and say, hey, this guy's got crazy jumps. We like him. But Edgerrin Cooper also had a 9.2, 90. He was a 92nd percentile athlete overall. So it's not like he was a bad athlete. He just didn't have a great jump. And maybe the Packers had something different. I don't know. You look at Edgerrin Cooper's RAS score, and it is kind of odd to look at. Like, why is he great at everything except the broad jump? I don't know. Let's see. Who else did they take? Tyron Hopper, big time fit, big time broad jump, someone that they liked a lot. Enough to take him in the third round, which a lot of us raised our eyebrows about. So far has not looked great, but he hasn't really played. So we'll see. The two guys that we're going to talk about today are more mid-round types. Obviously, you've got the top guys like Jihad Campbell. I'm just going to tell you he's a very high fit, checks every single box. The other guy in this year's draft class that I really like is the UCLA kid, Carson Schwessinger. Okay, I butcher his name every time, but he's good. He's a fun player. If the Packers were to burn a first or second round pick on a linebacker this year, I would assume it'd be one of those two guys, but I don't think they will. So we're going to focus on the middle round guys. Big time fits, incredible names. You cannot underscore and underrate how good of names both these guys have. The first guy we're going to talk about, his name is Teddy Buchanan. If that doesn't sound like a linebacker, I don't know what does. He's out of Cal. I think he played at UC Davis for his first several years, then transferred to Cal for his last year. And you look at him, big time athlete. Like I said, he's got almost a 94 percentile athlete and a 94 percentile broad jump. So he's got the size, he's got the athleticism that Green Bay typically covets. He can play the mic. I think that's something that if they are going to take a linebacker, they better be sure that he can play the mic, because I think Edgerrin and Quay are probably best suited as Quay maybe at Sam, edge at Mike, or edge at Will. I don't know how that's all going to sort out, but we'll see. I think having someone in there kind of like an upgrade to Isaiah McDuffie might be something that they're interested in if they don't want to play 17 games with Isaiah McDuffie as their third linebacker. So the things that really stand out about Buchanan, first thing that jumps off is he's an elite tester, but you can tell he's an athlete on the field too. He covers a ton of ground when he's playing. It translates really well to his coverage ability. He's someone that if you let him play in zone coverage, he's very fluid. He's got good instincts. If he can keep his eyes on the quarterback, he can get in throwing lanes. He can break on balls. He can do all that stuff that you like. Can run with tight ends and running backs. Someone that's really, really nice to have, even if it's just like in a sub package type situation. He's a playmaker. 14 career forced fumbles, 5 at Cal, or 14 career. I don't care written that 14 career like turnover worthy plays. I think he had 5 forced fumbles and then a bunch of interceptions. That could be wrong. I could be wrong. He's a playmaker is what I'm trying to get at. He takes the ball away, and he has done it his whole career. I think I got the numbers wrong. Someone check on that for me, actually, but I'm pretty sure that's close to right. It just sounds wrong because it's a ton. He's a good blitzer. He's got great closing speed, good tackler, versatility. I think he can play all over the place. Big time motor, attitude, effort. It's all there. Can be a special teams player from the jump. I think Bisaccia would love this kid. Cons, run defense. He can get moved. You get offensive linemen can get their hands into him, and if that happens, he's typically not getting off of it. He needs to work on his handwork. He does let guys get into his chest too easily, where he doesn't really have a plan when that happens. And if you're a 230-pound linebacker, you're going to lose that battle against a 315-pound offensive lineman more often than not if your technique is not impeccable. And his is not right now. So he needs to work on that. He can overrun stuff at times. He's a little bit aggressive. He's only played 1 year of big-time college football. And so those are kind of some of the pros or the cons with him. But he's someone that I think if you draft him in the middle rounds could be a good depth piece and eventually turn into a good starter on a good defense. Like I'm not surprised at all if that happens. Next guy I'm going to talk about is the Georgia linebacker, but not the one you're thinking about, not Jalen Walker. They've already got a Georgia linebacker named Walker. I'm talking about, and again, elite name, Smile Mondon. His name's Smile. Like, I love that. And you look at him, again, another guy, big-time athlete, big-time broad jump. For him, I think he is a 90th percentile athlete, 95 percentile broad jump, something that they're going to like. He's got good size for the position. I think he's around 6'2", 230, can run. There's a trend here, too, with both of these guys. And I wanted to highlight this because both of them excel in this area, and they're both pretty good in the pass game. And we watched Quay Walker up and down in the passing in the passing game and coverage. Not that he's terrible. He's got some good reps on tape. And then Edgerrin Cooper, I think the best way he affects the passing game is by putting quarterbacks on their back. That's how he affects the passing game. And I think you would want a guy then like either Smile or Buchanan that can come out. And if you are getting pressure with Edgerrin Cooper, not going to have to cover for that long, that are instinctive in zone coverage and can make plays on the ball. So Smile, he played at Georgia, so he's used to, he's an SEC defender, played in a big-time program and a big-time defense. Green Bay loves these Georgia defenders, as we all know. He's someone that is he's a good tackler. I think he gets guys on the ground pretty consistently. He is someone that, okay, let's see here. What did he do? He did a 4.58 40, so he can run. He's a good blitzer, special teams value. A lot of the same stuff that Buchanan's going to bring. And in fact, in the guide, we actually ranked them within 10 picks of each other. I think they're both in the 170s for us. So we like both of them. Smile, he's someone, I think he's dealt with some injuries at Georgia. He's someone that I think could add some functional strength at the linebacker position because, again, he can get moved in the run game. Sometimes he's slow to process too a little bit. So especially and in the run game, he is slow to diagnose at times in the run game. He's much more natural in the passing game. I think if he were to come to Green Bay, they would view him as, like a third down sub package type guy that they can get on the field in obvious passing situations, or, third and sevens, or what, whatever it is. So there are you two guys for this. I do want to tell you, because our standards for the linebacker are basically RAS and big time broad jumps, there's always like 10. And this year there's, I think, 9 guys that check every single box. In 2024, there were 10. And in 2023, there were 11. So this is a position that, we're still collecting data on. We still need to know, exactly what they like. And maybe it's nothing. Maybe they just, for them, linebacker is a vibes only position. We don't really care about the testing. We don't care about this or that. And I would get that to an extent, because it is such an instinctive position. You can have the biggest, fastest athlete in the world, but if they can't read and react, then they can't play. And then that's why also you have guys that are not, the best athletes that play 12 years in the NFL. So that's that. That's the linebacker position. We'll be back again tomorrow with another position to preview as we get closer and closer to this year's draft held in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We'll catch you guys then. Until next time, and as always, be excellent to each other and go Pack Go.